Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. I want to just send it out to everybody that's tuning in, watching the recording. It's a little early/late on the East Coast. Depending on your guys' time zone, time schedule. You know, what is time anyways, you know? Time is an illusion. Time is something that is way more modern. It's a lot more modern. So we're gonna get into the call today, the live. I'm not gonna waste too much time. We'll be here pretty quick, but I want to go over some things that have helped me be able to remove anything off of an account. So we're gonna first go over regulators. With these regulators, these are places where we can send out the complaints. So you guys don't have to spend any money. I'm gonna show you guys how to spend $0 on sending out any complaint, any letter that you guys may have. I highly recommend finding an AI system that will help you guys compute these federal codes, which I'm gonna get into next after the regulators, and be able to dissect these subchapters to then be able to help you guys draft up different complaints in pursuant to your guys' situation and what you guys are battling and going through against, and with these creditors or with these debt collectors. So who are these regulators where we can actually go through and file complaints? Really anything that has a .gov. See, what I want you guys to understand is that the United States is a federal corporation. It being a corporation, it must have consumers within that corporation. So since there's consumers within it, there's actually something called the Consumer Credit Protection Act, which was passed in the early 1960s. Right? So there's many different acts and chapters within this act that govern the protection of consumers throughout this corporation. To back that the United States is a federal corporation and has been since 1871. For one, you guys can look into the Act of 1871. For two, you guys can look into Title 28, U.S. Code 3002, number 15. So that's 28 U.S.C. 3002. And scroll down to number 15, and you guys will see the United States means a federal corporation. So with it being a corporation, everything is commerce and everything is trade. So that's what Title 15 is actually titled, Commerce and Trade. So if we go through Title 15, we're gonna, deal and find all the laws in accordance with commerce and trade. See, trade as to and why, because, if you think of, the docking system, so many things are being traded as well too. And we think of Admiralty Maritime, right? If you guys have ever heard of Admiralty Maritime, Admiralty Maritime, that is the law of the sea, right? And there's all these docks, even just being here in Philly, that's what I'm looking at right now, is literally the water and all these docks and all this supplies and all these things that come overseas on these cargoes, from these boats. Everything is trade as well too. Everything is commerce within a corporation. Everything is a business transaction. And so by understanding that, I understand that it being a business transaction, there's actually laws to protect us as consumers throughout each one of these transactions. So in order for a business to even do business, they got to be, or in order for a business, a corporation to contract, they must be contracting with another business. A corporation cannot contract with a natural person. They can only contract with the corporation. And so that's why in 1936 they came up with the Social Security Act, and that is collateral to all of the debt that the United States is in, and that is a fictitious entity that is mirroring you guys, the natural person. And so when they are coming after you with these debts, they're not in the wrong specifically because they're not coming after the natural person, they're coming after the organization, the corporation. And so, let's see. With that being said, the regulators that will go through to file these complaints, once again, is anything with a .gov, or you guys can go, or to be more specific, you guys can go to the Better Business Bureau. So you guys can go to the BBB for free and file a complaint. Whatever state you guys are in, you guys can go to that state attorney general. You can go to the secretary of that state. You can go to the CFPB, which if you guys look into 15 USC 1602, it's going to define the bureau as the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And that's where you guys will go to go ahead and file a complaint against any of these consumers. Outside of them, you guys can go to the FDIC. Outside of the FDIC, the BB, Arizona Attorney, or whatever Attorney General, you know, or whatever Secretary of State, you guys can go also to the Federal Trade Commission as well. There's a lot more you guys should go to file these complaints. Once again, anything with the .gov. Another great place where you guys can go, once we've gone through our contracts and seen, or to even see if there is a contract in accordance to what I'm referring to, and that's with arbitration. Arbitration is court really outside of the courts, and it's going to cost these companies, and we talk about them losing out on thousands to tens of thousands of dollars. That's when they'll start to move more accordingly. Now, if we insert in different case laws, like I mentioned on the last live, where I showed you guys how to program AI to be able to get, you know, settlement and get remedy. I talked about you guys using case law within those, you know, document or within those complaints, right? So if we can do that, use case law and then file pre-arbitration, and if they're still not willing to comply, then going through arbitration through ADR.org. Once again, ADR.org, and that's the American Arbitration Association. And through there, if you click the consumer section, you can scroll down and you can view the consumer clauses. Through there, you guys will be able to find all of the arbitration agreements that the AAA, the American Arbitration Association, ADR.org, where the American, you know, what financial institutions do the American Arbitration Association regulate. So through there, you guys can find those contracts, you know, and then you guys can use those contracts in your disputes. You guys can also use AI to help you draft up a letter in accordance with that dispute. So there's a lot that you guys can do. And I want you guys to get familiar with it, because arbitration is huge, you know, being a consumer. You know, it's in the contracts that you guys are agreeing to. And so that's what I want you guys also to understand, is that it's not because you actually do owe them as to why you're making the payments. It's because you agree to their terms as to why you are making those payments. But with that being said, you were deceived and misled into signing that agreement, and you can also get those accounts removed as well too. So I wanted to make that clear, and I also want you guys to understand that there's certain subsections, there's certain subchapters that will help you guys specifically when it comes to getting deletions. So as we create those complaints, you know, we use AI to help us create those complaints. There's certain subchapters. So I'm gonna go for the big three first. The big three that I always cover, which within YBC University, I've got great videos going even more in depth, you know, within each one of these chapters. If I were to do that here on this live, we'd be here for over 3 hours. But each one of those subchapters, I went about an hour in each and really covered and went in depth with those teachings. And so what are the big three? Who is the big three? The big three is truth in lending. This is within Title 15, Chapter 41. Title 15 is Commerce and Trade. Chapter 41 is the Consumer Credit Protection Act. See, I want you to understand that there's no chapter, subchapter that is governing the protection of debt. And that's because debt is an illusion. If y'all haven't heard that before, I'm gonna be the first to tell you. Debt is an illusion. There is no such thing as debt. And the notes and the things that you guys are paying is, you know, which I'm telling you is debt. The notes that you guys are using to pay these quote unquote, you know, debts, which are really alleged debts, you guys are just using another debt instrument. See, Federal Reserve notes, FRNs, you know, the remittance coupons, you know, anything other than gold and silver is debt. looking at 18 USC 8. All right, so truth in lending is the first one of the big three of the three subchapters, that I want you guys to instill, use daily, use weekly, use within each letter. And that starts at 15 USC 1601. Now we go into the next one, which is the FCRA. The FCRA is going to be dealing with more of the consumer report agencies. I do want to bring awareness to the fact that there's over 330 consumer report agencies. So if you guys got child support, if you guys got bankruptcies, if you guys got any public records, a lot of those may not be furnished on Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion, but they're being reported on other consumer report agencies, which a lot of these jobs, when they're going to employ you guys, they'll pull these employment consumer report agencies. So there's actually a list within our Discord. If you guys are not in our Discord, you guys can get into those Discord. And with these same subchapters that I'm going over and talking about, such as the FCRA, Truth in Lending, you guys can actually use these codes and subchapters to be able to go ahead and get rid of these accounts. If you guys got tickets, you guys can, discharge those tickets. If you guys got, once again, child support, you guys can remove your information from these reporting agencies and any alleged debt in which they're stating that you owe. Same thing with tickets. Once again, so it's not just, things on one's consumer report through Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. They hold little to no power, and they're literally nobodies, other than the power that you guys give them by not knowing your guys' rights and just being ignorant to the fact, which it's okay to not know, but now that y'all know better, y'all can only do better. Y'all know, y'all got access to this information. Like I go over it time and time again. There's many other people that also teach this information that maybe you'll resonate with even more. And so it's all about who you guys resonate best with this information, because there's lots of people out there teaching this. This is public information. I'm telling you guys where you guys can look up right now on the internet exactly what I'm referring to. So it's no secret, it's all public information. So the FCRA starts at 15 USC 1681. And the name within itself tells you everything. Fair Credit Reporting Act. Someone was not being fair while they're reporting credit. And I want y'all to understand, credit is more than just one's consumer report through Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, and a credit score. Really, in the FCRA, they never even define a credit score because there's no such thing as a credit score. They never define a credit report because there's no such thing as a credit report. It's called a consumer report. All right, and the last one of the big threes is the FDCPA, which is the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. And the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, that's going to help you guys with dealing with debt collectors. So that's an act that's governing, you as a consumer against these debt collectors, and it's letting you know what they can and can't do in attempts to them collecting, any type of debt. And so once you really go through it and decipher it, you'll realize that they're not really able to do anything at all. And it's very simple to get these removed by just simply understanding those big three subchapters. Shout out to Maintain Sobriety. Much love. I appreciate you truly, and I appreciate the support and the feedback. And all that I ask of you is just to continue to do the work, do the inner work. Take action. If you got questions, please feel free to reach out to us through Discord, through our Facebook group. I got the Facebook group down below in the description. Please feel free to schedule a 10-minute phone call anytime, complimentary 10-minute phone call for free. Other than that, be active, take action, I love that people come here and gain a lot of information, but my biggest thing and what makes me most happy is, like I got a comment last time, right, where somebody tuned in to me and my brother Tiquan X's channel, and in like a couple months, or I think it was a couple months, I'm not sure, but in the time that he's been following us, he's been able to get his credit to go up over 91 points, which is a blessing, right? That's things that I love to hear. I love to hear what you got, the results and the success stories that you guys have gotten, right, just from my channel and stuff. So That's what I love to see most. I'll hit you up. God bless you. Yes, much love. God bless y'all. Let's get the likes up as well too, and definitely if y'all are tuning in ever, let's get the likes up. The more likes, the more viewers, the more we grow, the more that we can empower, the more that we can enrich, and the more that we can educate. If I've ever impacted you guys in some way, some shape, some form, definitely feel free to get, I would love the feedback. I do love the feedback. That's what feeds my soul, right? Is seeing you guys win, is seeing the success stories, not even just in consumer law, maybe in your way of thinking, maybe in just your everyday, actions. It doesn't have to be business. It can be in life. If I've helped you in some way, some shape, maybe through meditation, maybe through breath work, all these teachings are just minuscule to the offerings that I really do have, and have given out on this channel. And I tell you guys, and maybe you guys just expressing gratitude daily before you guys do things, being intentional as you guys go into things, and when you guys think things, right? So. Let me see about that. So yeah, those are the big three. Other chapters as well too that you guys can look into. I would look into Title 12, the banking, title around banking. Definitely get familiar with Title 12. But also within Title 15, the Graham-Leach-Bailey Act, right? That's the Privacy Protection Act. So Graham-Leach-Bailey Act, that's 15 U.S.C. 6801. And the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, which is 15 U.S.C. 1691. So those are the top 5 that I like. Those are your starting 5, man. Starting 5 chapters. Other titles though, Title 12 and Title 15, for starters. So that's how you guys can remove anything from one's consumer report. There's no secret to it. Y'all all got access to it. Y'all are all able to do it as well too. You can look up right now, list of consumer report agencies, CFPB. They'll give you a list of all of the consumer report agencies. You guys can pull those consumer reports, and if you guys see any information that's inaccurate, and the thing is well too with accuracy, just like an address. Has anybody ever been to your address and actually verified whether that's you that lives there? When you guys call these companies, is there actually a way of them verifying that it's actually you? Actually you, the natural person, that is on that phone. Or I know for a fact I've represented many of my, family members when helping them dispute different things from their accounts. I've represented my mom. Like, hey, yeah, this is Vanessa. Speaking like a woman, and, like, there's no way of them actually verifying any of this information. It's all allegations. It's all, fictitious. They hold no power other than the power that you guys give them. So I want to make that clear. I hope that was helpful. Does anybody have any questions? That's all that I wanted to cover today. Like I said, today's live was going to be pretty quick. Really a refresher, all right, because I've gone over this time and time again, but it's always good to go over things again, man. And if y'all love the teachings, if y'all love the channel, let's work together one-on-one, because this is just a little bit of what I offer. With my mentorship, I go more in depth with different business, systems and, things that I implement, give you guys access to me completely. We can hop on phone calls, one-on-ones. We hop on weekly Zooms, and you know, y'all will get a lot more insight to my teachings and what we offer. Also, you guys will get a trust setup where you guys can set up a nonprofit, and that nonprofit is a private trust. So that private trust holds a lot of power. But yeah, man, that's everything. Any questions? If not, we will go ahead and end it here. Alright. Looks like that's it. Let's take a couple of deep breaths together. Inhale. Hold at the top. Inhale a little more. A little more. Let it go. One more deep breath. Hold. Let it go. And last breath, take it as deep as you can, the deepest breath you've taken all day. Inhale. A little more. All right, family, thank you all for being here, for being present, for showing up for yourself. We're gonna go ahead and end this live at 22:22, so 10 more seconds. All right, family, much love. I appreciate you all. Peace and love for each other.